The friendly, caring Bobby pounding the beat has always been the hallmark of British policing.
Fantastic.
This has been all right, my friend.
And has even been immortalised on film by the fictional Dixon of Dock Green.
Good evening, all.
Today's neighbourhood police teams continue that tradition, but also tackle the root causes of crime head-on by targeting known hotspots.
Unlucky.
Stamping down on antisocial behaviour.
I'm arresting you for a public order offence.
And waging war on illegal drugs.
I can smell cannabis already.
In this new series of Neighbourhood Blues, we follow the police men and women of Somerset as they continue their quest to make our streets a safer place. Coming up, a woman suspected of stealing hits out and bares her teeth. PC Russ Millier faces off with a motorist with no respect.
The mood I'm in,
Well, what are you going to do?
I don't say anything, do I?
Just as well.
What do you mean just as well?
Just as well.
And a massive crackdown in Weston-super-Mare
Strike.
flushes out illegal drugs.
We've got it, it's in the toilet. Yeah, loads.
Sweet.
Crime figures are falling and have been for the last 20 years. But despite this, people's fear of crime and violence is on the increase. There's a belief too that the police are failing to act tough enough on offenders, which is fueling those fears.
So in Somerset, the police are doing something about it, with a series of raids targeting serious criminals to help reassure the public. Today in Weston-super-Mare, the neighbourhood team is being briefed by an intelligence officer whose identity needs to be hidden. They are about to take part in Operation Amalgamate, a huge ongoing police crackdown on serious criminals in the area.
Amalgamate's been brought together due to the increase in drugs and violent offences in Weston-super-Mare, including the drugs offences, been an increase in burglary and theft from offences as well.
Drug dealing is never a standalone issue and tends to go hand in hand with burglary and antisocial behaviour.
The intelligence today is as good as we're going to get. It's all red hot. It is as current as yesterday about where these guys are dealing from.
Their focus today is on the increasing number of out-of-towners who are coming into the area to deal drugs.
They're a mixture of black and white London males and Birmingham males. A lot of our intel has come from the community today and they've had enough. They really have.
5 teams of officers are going out to raid 6 properties. And they're prepared for anything. Neighbourhood Sergeant Colin Batchelor is leading one of the teams whose target is a block of flats.
We need to get out behind these lots. Get on the van. Shaky. Come on.
I'll line up. If you get in, you
can join us. Right. Let's get in, let's go.
Operations like this give out the message that the police are determined to make the town safe and drug dealing will not be tolerated. Adrenaline is high. No one knows what they're going to be faced with. The lead officer radios with last-minute instructions.
Amalgamate units, bombs, move to your holding areas. Let me know as soon as you're there.
Everyone waits for the command to strike.
Stand by.
All 10 units from bombs then. Strike.
Colin's team are taking things cautiously in case they're spotted by any suspects in the 3rd floor flat. Luckily, the rear communal door is unlocked. Now they don't hold back. They're through the front door in seconds, quickly finding a suspect who, as a precaution, is red dotted with a taser. There's also another lad in the room,
Gentlemen, morning. Sorry you've had a little bit of an early wake-up call. You've probably gathered we've got a warrant for the address under the Misuse of Drugs Act. What's your name, fella?
No comment.
No comment on your name?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a long day, innit? We've got a warrant here to search the premises, OK? All right?
Yes, search
That's
them.
why we've come in.
So
do you understand
understands
that?
to do it.
Fine, OK. You understand it, that's great.
Yeah, go on,
okay?
what you do.
All right. There should be... Where is the tenant, the occupier?
No.
He's not here.
You tell me.
But he's not here, obviously.
You tell me
That's
where
fine.
he's in it.
Thank you very much.
Both guys don't appear to be local, so they could be the out-of-towners they're looking for. There's also drug paraphernalia lying around. While the investigation at the flat continues, and with over 50 officers involved in today's operation, more teams are striking their targets.
Boss, we're in position about a minute away.
Strike. Good hunting.
The Red Enforcer goes into action. The raid on this house didn't result in any arrests. But having found the remains of possible Class A drugs, Colin and his team are more hopeful.
Tell you what, I think your day's going to get better. Right, we'll take some photographs. We'll get these two searched.
The flat's getting a thorough search too.
Alice, do you want to just take a picture of that? I was just found on the floor.
And that one as well.
A mobile phone is a good find, as it could hold the numbers of drugs contacts.
This was underneath those.
And a set of scales could have been used to weigh out illegal substances. All of the Operation Amalgamate raids across Weston have been executed. And plenty of drugs paraphernalia is turning up. Amalgamate is not just about the raids on suspected drug dealers, though. It's also about reassuring residents in the area, which the local police cadets have volunteered to help with.
Our job is to engage with members of the public, and if anybody comes up to you and asks what you're doing, just basically dealing with Operation Amalgamate, drug crime.
While the cadets head out to leaflet homes, at the flat, there's been a spectacular discovery.
There's actually intense supplies in the toilet. We've got it in the toilet. Yeah, loads.
It's a huge haul of drugs, all bundled up in cellophane and found floating in the lavatory.
They've been necked. Possession of intent Class A, heroin and crack.
Luckily, the team got in quick enough to seize the drugs.
On the approach, we've seen one of the subjects on the address at the window, so he's been made aware that we're coming. We've gone bursting up the stairs. Unfortunately, he tried to flush this down the toilet. Probably due to the size of it, it hasn't flushed.
Getting a large quantity of crack and heroin off Weston streets has left Russ feeling flushed with success.
So yeah, we're really pleased with what we've got so far.
No more drugs were found in the flat or on the two lads, who it turned out were out-of-towners from the Midlands. They were both arrested and are currently on bail.
You all right there? People shouldn't be living here concerned about drug dealing neighbours, a secondary message, as opposed to just locking up the dealers. The community needs to know why we're doing it, what we're doing it for, and that we are doing our best to protect them all.
Colin wastes no time in relaying that message, while the cadets leaflet homes with information.
It's good that you've come up and had a word, because then you can hear it from the horse's mouth.
Well, it's nice to know that you're on top of it.
We're trying, absolutely,
nice.
absolutely.
Nice.
And we need to show that we are here and that, we won't stand for it. And that's part of today through Weston, but it isn't just a one-off, it's an ongoing operation. There's a couple of streets off, even the surrounding areas, so Grassmere, Osborne.
Colin suddenly gets a call to return to the flat.
Just redeploying the cadets, etc., mate. I'm just round the corner.
It's his lucky day. The owner of the flat has now turned up.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So we've executed a warrant here today in your property. All right. We were a little bit concerned because we didn't know where you were.
Yeah. Am I going to get arrested?
I can't say at this stage. I can't say yes or no.
But Colin was able to give him an answer fairly quickly.
So it was very much nicey, come on inside. Oh dear, there's some drugs in here. I'm sorry, you're under arrest.
With almost 100 wraps of cocaine and heroin, carrying a street value of up to £1,000 found in the toilet, the man was arrested for possession with intent to supply. 10 weeks later, the other 2 suspects originally found in the flat and who were still on bail were stopped in a nearby street by a plain-clothed intelligence officer. One of them was found to have cocaine in his possession. So the flat was searched again. This time, the flat owner was at home.
The same gentleman was inside with more drugs. As a result of that, he was arrested, charged with the drugs offences, and is subsequently spending time now at Her Majesty's pleasure.
This time, an even bigger haul of heroin and crack cocaine was found, worth almost £7,000.
Approximately 350 wraps of controlled substances. For us here, it was what I would term as fairly substantial.
And so did the courts, as they sentenced him to 28 months in prison, which might well be extended when the investigation into the drugs found in his toilet is completed. Since Operation Amalgamate was launched, there have been a total of 33 arrests, with almost half of them being out-of-towners from big cities around the UK. Almost £1 million worth of drugs and £750,000 in cash has been seized. With this success, the operation is set to continue. Being a victim of crime can be extremely traumatic, and returning home to discover you've had a break-in can be one of the most distressing experiences imaginable. But what if an intruder enters your house while you're still at home? In Bridgwater, Neighbourhood Officer Tex Freeman has just started his shift and is responding to an emergency 999 call.
We've got a lady who's phoned up, she's pregnant, children in the building, in her flat, and some male who she doesn't know has walked in, and then she thinks that he's under the influence of drugs.
The expectant mother is too scared to tackle him, and if the guy is on drugs, she and her children could be at risk, so there's no time to waste. With their years of experience, both officers have learned to expect the unexpected, unlike the shocked woman that's called them.
I've never ever seen it before in my life, honestly.
Surprisingly, the intruder is still here and taking a nap.
You all right? Do you know why we're here? Any idea why we're here?
You come over here, darling.
It's not your flat. What are you doing here, buddy?
I've tried telling him to go on it.
You all right?
So weird.
He's obviously confused, and he's clearly not a dangerous intruder.
Did the girls' breakfast? We was all sat down for breakfast, and just this random guy just decides to walk in.
That's where the police come in.
Yeah, he just walked into the kitchen.
Whereabouts do you live, buddy? Not here.
Just in this block somewhere.
In this block somewhere. Do you realise that you walked into someone else's flat?
I didn't.
It's beginning to dawn on the lad that he actually lives in the flat downstairs, but he's still a bit confused.
Yeah, what have you been up to? Where have you been before you come here, buddy? You don't know?
No.
Taking anything?
No, I do know that I could be epileptic and I might have had a blackout, and that could be why I'm here.
Okay.
I get them in the morning sometimes when I've just woke up to go to the toilet, so that could be the reason why.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure.
All right. We got ambulance people here anyway, so if you're happy for them to check you over, yeah?
Yeah, but...
If the guy has had some kind of seizure, it could have temporarily affected his memory and his behaviour.
Considering I'm pregnant as well, like if he turned, like, oh God. God.
Oh, shaking.
I had to rush back from work just to see.
Here or what?
No, I just come back from work. I just had to leave work just to come back and see if everything was all right.
Thankfully, the lad hasn't harmed anyone, but incredibly, he's run himself a bath and has slipped into some of the woman's clothes.
Went to the wardrobe and got one of my jumpers out and just randomly took it. And then just sat on the sofa and started chilling out.
Sounds as if he was settling in nicely.
It's not your top.
While the bewildered visitor is taken back to his flat for a checkup, Tex gives him a checkup on the police computer.
Yeah, can I have code 1 person, PNC, please?
Fortunately, the lad doesn't need any hospital attention and has never been in trouble with the police before, so Tex is confident his behaviour was a one-off.
There's going to be no further action from our point of view. Okay. Is there anything else from us you need at all? No? Okay. So we'll speak to her and reassure her upstairs, because obviously, you know, with kids, she was a bit shy. Yeah, no problem on that, mate. We're going to speak to her. All right. Take care, mate. Hello. Is it all right? Come in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He sends his million apologies. He can't remember. If you're happy with that, he's nothing, no offence. I mean, obviously it's startling and it's yeah.
They say it's no use locking the stable door after the horse has bolted, but Tex doesn't subscribe to that for a moment.
I mean, the only thing I'd say is after today,
Keep
your door locked. Keep the door locked. But yeah, if you're happy with that, all right, no worries, buddy. No worries. Take care.
Still to come on Neighbourhood Blues. Dom gets injured in the line of duty.
Well, she's sunk her teeth into my arm, unfortunately. I need to get that checked out ASAP.
And Weston-super-Mare
Love bikes.
goes motocross mad.
I'd like to be out there and giving it a go, to be quite honest.
Although it's the neighbourhood police that are primarily responsible for tackling crime in an area, when it comes to shoplifting, effective policing relies heavily on partnerships with CCTV operators and the shop's own security services.
Last year, shoplifting cost UK retailers more than £600 million. And inevitably, it's honest customers that are hit in the pocket when stores have to pass on their losses by putting up their prices. In Bridgwater, a considerable 12% of all crime is down to shoplifting, as Inspector Andy Pritchard knows only too well.
Bridgwater has a large shopping area, and shoplifting is a local issue and a local concern, especially at the moment with times of financial hardship. So it does feature in the priorities for the local policing team.
As well as retailers, the police work closely with the council's CCTV team. Although the high street's quiet today, their cameras are always on the lookout. And they've been alerted to a man with a satchel who's just left a pharmacy store. He's quickly followed by another man in jeans and a jumper, the store detective, who believes he has stolen several bottles of perfume. A description of the suspect goes out to neighbourhood officers.
White t-shirt, one over the shoulder bag, trousers, quite tall, slim build, bearish hair.
Don Bryant is in direct contact with CCTV and the high street shops through their own radio network.
Yeah, I'm on the radio to track radio. I'm going to get him to guide me in.
Brilliant, standing by.
The police take a strong line on shoplifting, and some members of the public take a strong view.
I think shoplifters should be birched, personally. Shop retailers put the price up because of prices, which is not going to affect everyone else. So makes everything else a bit more expensive.
I can't really understand what goes through their minds really to even do something like that, but it happens a lot. I've seen it happen myself.
Store detective has monitored a male in Brewster Chemist. He's selected some fragrances, placed them in his bag. He's left the store making no attempt to pay.
The store detective is still following the suspect and is encouraging the man to hand over the bottles of perfume he's taken. But he's convinced there are more. The suspect is determined to get away. But CCTV still has him in their sights and have passed his movements on to Dom over the dedicated radio link.
He's monitored him going through the back streets behind the shops, and we're going to go and track him down.
The suspect could find somewhere to hide now as he goes out of range of the cameras. Dom puts his foot down.
344 for an update.
2 more neighbourhood officers listening in join the hunt and rush to the area where the man was last seen by the CCTV cameras.
Down by Castle Street, you see.
All of a sudden, the CCTV cameras pick the suspect back up again. And calmly, he's been detained. A quick-witted PCSO has saved the day, but as he doesn't have the power to arrest the man, he can only detain him until a police officer arrives.
Billy's with him. It just shows, whilst he's on foot, he was there, knew where the chap was going, had him detained.
The neighbourhood officers arrive within minutes and soon find another bottle of perfume that he hadn't handed over earlier. Dom's over the moon with new recruit Billy because he's his rookie.
My man now in training apprehended him. Billy, brilliant. On foot patrol, town centre, this is what it's all about. Apprehended the male, one in custody, no problem at all. Items have been recovered.
The arrest is testimony to the teamwork involved in policing the town centre.
And I've sort of had CCTV call up on the sort of airwave that encountered him sort of running up the street. Asked him to wait with me whilst obviously the officers who were en route got there. No job done.
It was imperative we got there sooner rather than later for Billy's safety.
The guy is off to Bridgwater custody suite.
All right, matey, mind your head. All right, dude. All right there, bud. Get those bracelets off in a minute.
The man is beginning to regret what he's done.
What's British? I'm not thinking, just me being me. I think, oh, I've just took him and I forgot something for my missus, something for her daughter. Got caught by the security guard. What an idiot. My missus is going to go mad.
As well as facing his other half, the shoplifter also had to face court, where he pleaded guilty to the theft of the perfume. He was given a 9-month conditional discharge and made to pay £205 in costs and charges. For Dom, the arrest was a triumph of good communication and good old-fashioned coppering.
Police driving around in police cars would have missed that. So it just shows how important foot patrol and local knowledge is. It's everything in the town.
No sooner has Dom got a prisoner locked up than he's back out on patrol.
Yeah, any problems, you give me a shout.
Although the shoplifting arrest went smoothly, not all arrests do. And Dom likes to keep on his toes should a suspect turn nasty.
I've been doing sport and fitness all my life. I'm not saying I'm better or bigger or faster than anybody, but let me tell you something now. Well, there's no substitute for fitness and inner core strength, inner power.
Once again, CCTV is keeping an eye out for trouble in the town centre. And a drunk's been spotted, causing a disturbance.
Okay, I'll have another lap round. Get a good look at him.
You alright, fella? What are you up to?
Can you put your can away, please, mate? There's no drinking in this area.
CCTV's been watching you for a while, a bit concerned about your behaviour.
She's the wrong then. She my money.
Who has?
The drinker says he's been robbed by a woman. Dom needs to get him to calm down and tries to make sense of what he's saying. Suddenly, The man spots the woman he says robbed him, standing outside an Italian restaurant across the road. And he heads straight for her.
Yeah, you do.
Whoa, you stay here with me. You stay with me.
I'm all right.
The woman also appears to have been drinking. Dom's colleague takes her to one side to get her version of events. A member of staff from the restaurant tells Dom that he believes the woman and another man have had a meal and have left without paying their bill. And the guy she was with is now taking the opportunity to scarp her.
It's all happening at once.
Excuse me.
This gentleman's sort of springing about like a jack in the box, trying to keep him calm, on the point of being arrested, to made off from Prezzo's without paying for their dinner. Get over here, mate.
The confusion continues.
She may have left there without paying Prezzo's.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They've been in there.
Right.
They've been in there together. They're robbers, man.
The restaurant manager comes over and confirms that the woman has indeed left without paying.
Finish your meal and make sure you pay for it. Yeah, they're robbers. They're robbers.
But he's giving her a second chance to pay up. Dom now questions the guy about the alleged robbery.
My pocket was like that. She hugged me and dipped in my pocket, man. I'm not having that.
Within minutes, the woman's back out of the restaurant, and it's becoming apparent she and her accuser are acquaintances.
What is it all about, like?
Yeah.
Why did you leave me? And why are you with... God, that could have anything.
What?
Now.
You just bought me a meal with that.
No, what? How could... Oh, what, sir? Oh, what?
No, you left me earlier, all right?
No, I didn't leave you.
Dom's colleague has found out that she's still refusing to pay the bill, which is a whopping
£119.5p. So you either go in there and pay it now or you're getting necked.
No,
Pay the bill.
Nick me.
Sorry?
No, because I was with somebody, right?
She claims that the guy she was with was going to pay, but he's legged it, leaving her to face the music.
All right, and arrested on suspicion of bilking. Do you have to say anything you may harm the defence? You don't mention any questions, something which is later in court.
Sorry?
Bilking is a term used when someone deliberately runs off without paying. And with her second chance gone, the woman's now off to the nick.
No! You! Yeah, I'm gonna get you van!
Right, have your bum back, please.
No!
Yes.
Her bag needs to be confiscated in case she's got anything in it she could harm herself with.
Yes.
Give
us that hair.
Have it! Don't!
Give us it here.
Don't touch me!
Yes.
Right, have it! Have it!
Thank you very much.
Thank you! Yeah.
Obviously, there's some history between the female arrested and this young man. So, yeah. So she's been arrested for stuff in her face and not paying for it.
Now the man's friend has been arrested. He's given up his robbery claim.
I'll have to deal with this one. Seems a bit more lively, unfortunately.
This could be a noisy ride. The woman's kicking off.
Yeah, and what? It's human rights to be told what you're being charged with. It's my basic human rights. You're not telling me.
You're not being charged with anything.
You're not telling me. Wait! If you walk away, people hate you.
Isn't just a lot of hot air. It's not going to hurt the van, hurt herself more like. It's only sort of slapping it with her hand.
You wait!
The woman may be full of hot air, but that's not all. Judging by the restaurant receipt.
I think she was talking about having champagne earlier as well. Yeah, 60 quid.
A £60 bottle of champagne? But she thinks she's gone into the restaurant, eating £120 meals, thinks it's her right to leave without paying. Thinks that's no problem.
What actually am I being charged with?
They've now arrived at Bridgwater police station, and the noisy passenger seems to have calmed down.
Keep your hand down. Do you want to have them down? Right.
Hey, Joe. Yes. Oh. Can I ask you what I've been arrested for. I don't know. Excuse me, sir. The gentleman I was with said he was going to pay, so how could you possibly arrest me?
After her fine dining, it's time for a brisk walk.
No, because I'm going to... Don't even touch me, right? Don't touch me! Get away from me! Don't! Yeah, really?
Dealing with aggressive suspects is never easy, and this one's a real handful.
Get off me!
It's taking two strong men to subdue the hostile woman. Suddenly, things turn really serious.
Get off me! Get off me!
She sunk her teeth into Dom's colleague's arm, biting off more than she can chew this time. Assaulting a police officer while carrying out his or her duty is a serious offence, leading to a possible prison sentence.
No!
You're going to listen to me?
No, I ain't! Where am I going to go in here? Yeah, come on!
The woman's off to the cells, where she can cool off. Tricky customers like her are all in a day's work for the custody sergeant.
Unfortunately, we see many people, like the young woman that's just been brought in, weekly, sometimes daily, from somewhere, quite regularly.
Turn around.
Because the woman's behaviour is so unpredictable, she's put in a cell where she can be monitored on CCTV. But she still needs to be searched, and it takes the strength of several officers to restrain her. Eventually, she runs out of steam.
I tried to talk to you at the desk, but you wouldn't listen to me, would you?
And now she can be searched properly.
Well done. Lift up a bit,
Nothing of significance is found, and she's left to rest. But Dom's not taking any chances.
Okay, but we'll just keep an eye on her, just to know a bit more.
Last year, there were an alarming 113 assaults on police officers in Avon and Somerset. And during the struggle in the cell, Dom added to that number.
Well, she's sunk her teeth into my arm, unfortunately. So I need to get that checked out ASAP, for obvious reasons. I'm disappointed in myself, really, for letting it happen. Obviously, it's a serious invasion of my privacy. Being punched and kicked is one thing. But when someone's actually sunk their teeth into you and drawn blood, that's something else. That's real invasion of privacy. I don't like it, personally.
The woman pleaded guilty to invading Dom's privacy with her teeth, and also for biting Dom's partner, and was sentenced to 5 months in prison for ABH, actual bodily harm. She also pleaded guilty to making off without payment from the restaurant, for which she got 7 days in prison and had to pay £119 in compensation to cover the unpaid bill. Her dinner date, who ran off, carried on running, and it was 3 months before police caught up with him. Fortunately for him, he wasn't charged, because the woman took the rap. As a dedicated fitness and motorbike fan,
See, no sting, no pain.
Dom makes sure his hand is still functioning.
As long as I can twist that throttle on my days off, as long as I can get to circuit training.
You are worth your weight in gold, Dom.
Do my hill sprints, tyre flips, squat thrusts and burpees, I'll be happy. If anything impairs that, that's when I start getting my yin and yang don't sort of add up.
Policing a neighbourhood relies on a good relationship between its inhabitants and the police. People who trust and accept the authority of the police are far more likely to obey the law.
But unfortunately, there are always some chances that show no respect for either the police or the law. Today, neighbourhood officer Russ Millier is patrolling his patch in Weston-super-Mare, always on the lookout for criminals. And he's just spotted a known banned driver get into a car.
He's got in it. Oh, game on. I don't think he's got a licence.
Really?
Russ double checks with the PNC, the police national computer.
Showing an expired substantive.
So I can confirm it's expired substantive, yeah?
If
Yeah,
someone's
affirmative,
banned from
expired
driving,
substantive.
their licence is
Stop it.
automatically cancelled.
He's pulling over to stop.
Time for a chat with the driver.
Is your licence still in date? It's coming, it's expired with the DVLA.
I've sent all the forms off for it.
So, to do what?
Because I was on the ban, wasn't I?
Right.
So the ban's finished.
Yeah.
Last month.
Yeah.
All insured, MOT, everything.
Yeah.
Sent my licence off. Should be back end days.
Okay.
If the driver doesn't have a licence in place, his insurance isn't valid, which is also a crime. So Russ has invited the man into the back of his car while he double checks with the DVLA.
What he's saying is he's coming off of a ban. He's come off the ban. The ban's finished, and he's apparently applied for a new licence. Right, there's nothing in the pipeline whatsoever. Cheers, bye-bye. That's direct from the DVLA. Nothing whatsoever in the pipeline to even issue you a licence, let alone know that you're coming off the ban.
Well, I came off the ban like a month.
But you've got no licence.
I have got a licence.
You haven't. You have got no licence with the DVLA.
Why did I not have a licence when I took my driving test 20 years ago?
Because you were banned.
Banned up.
Yes, and you lost your licence. You don't just automatically get a licence reissued. You have to apply for a licence.
Which I did.
They're saying you haven't. They've received nothing whatsoever from you to say, I want a new licence back.
Russ is getting very tired of this conversation.
We're arguing about whether they received it or not is irrelevant. The point is, you've got no licence because they haven't issued you a licence. You're driving a vehicle on a road with no driving licence.
The man has no respect for the law. With no licence and consequently no insurance, his car is now going to be seized.
Where's my wallet?
Tough luck. It's coming with us. The car's coming with us. And he'll be reported again for driving with no licence.
I want the paperwork.
Go sit in the car if you want the form. He's tried it on and it hasn't worked, so his vehicle will be seized and he'll go on his way without his car.
Hearing his car is about to be seized has put a serious dent in the driver's already stony relationship with Russ.
How do I go about making a complaint?
Well, you'd probably call 101.
If he's not returned on the date he said he's going to.
Out of order. I'll tell you what's out of order. You drive. You crack on. Because you know what? This is authorised by an inspector. So I've just spoke to him. Don't drive around with no licence. Simple as that.
I'm perfectly within my rights to put in a complaint. I've just told you I'm doing it.
And I said, crack
I ain't
on.
worried about it. The mood I'm in.
Well, what are you going to do?
I didn't say anything, did I?
Just as well.
What do you mean, just as well?
Just as well.
Who do you think you're talking to? Talk to me with respect,
No.
the same as I talk to you
I'll tell you
with
what,
respect.
you've been dealt with the utmost respect ever since I've been with you. If
I
you want to get
haven't said you
chopsy
haven't.
because your vehicle's seized, that's your issue. Don't expect me to pamper up to you because you've had your vehicle seized and
Did
you're
I
angry
feel
about
pamper
it.
up to
Well,
me, did
that's
I?
exactly what you're asking me to do.
And the debate continues.
You show me respect and I'll show you
I've
respect
treated
back.
you
It's a
with
two-way
nothing but
thing.
respect.
No, you haven't.
Somebody else can come as long as they're insured for it, can't they?
Yeah, so you could get your dad to collect it if you wanted to. You just have to show insurance for him to drive it, which he's got. Insurance, MOT, or your sister. Yeah, as long as you've got a driving licence.
Sarcasm is the lowest form of wit. 40 years.
Yeah, thank you for that. See you again. The driver of the car clearly has an issue, thinks he's being picked on. It's not the case. You know, unfortunately, you're going to go around committing crime and drive around with no licence, you're going to get pulled over.
It turns out that the car is owned by the man's dad, who's just found out that it's getting taken away.
But he's driving around with no licence. Right, DVLA have no record of whatsoever. Listen, I'm not going to stand to have this argument with you because I've just had to have it with. The issue is whether he sent it or not is irrelevant. It's whether the DVLA have issued the licence. The DVLA could turn around and say we're not giving it back. It's their right to do that. Okay, see you later. Very angry dad. He may as well just be driving around with nothing whatsoever because there's no driving licence. His insurance isn't valid. So if he hits someone, hits another car, God forbid he hits a child or a member of the public, he's looking at a lot more than a van, and someone's looking at loss of life.
The car was collected from the recovery agent the following day by a woman who is legally insured to drive the car, and the illegal driver is still being investigated. There's no doubt biker Dom from Bridgwater would love what's going on in Weston-super-Mare today. It's hosting one of Europe's biggest action sports events, the Pro Nationals Motocross Festival.
Well, the first action of the day is going to be the monster truck.
Around 10,000 spectators are expected to turn up, and as usual, with a big event like this, the Neighbourhood team are out and about. Susan Venn Adams is one of the PCSOs on duty today, and like Dom, she's a bike nut.
Love bikes. I'm terrible. I am a sucker for a motorbike. Yeah, I'd like to be out there and giving it a go, to be quite honest.
Joining the Neighbourhood team are the local volunteer police cadets.
I hope you like that music.
They're the face of Avon and Somerset. They are our future. They are what we are all about. It gives them a good experience of neighbourhood policing. Something like this with the events is really, really good for them to gain experience and to be able to connect with the public like we do on an everyday basis.
I really like being part of the Police Cadets because I think it's a really good experience for my future life, and I get to interact with the public and get to see really cool events as well.
There are 9 cadet units across the constabulary, and any 14 to 17-year-old can sign up. Neighbourhood officers give up their spare time to instruct these teenagers, some of whom are sharing a skill they've learned from cadet leader Ray Bradley.
Behind me you can see that we do fingerprinting. We can simulate the scene of a burglary where they fingerprinted a window and we take the fingerprints from the window.
But it's not all CSI for the cadets. Often they shadow officers on foot patrol and sometimes get the chance to see the Neighbourhood team in action.
Yeah, basically we've been alerted by security that there is 2 smoking cannabis at the moment, so we go down with the officers.
With a lot of visitors in town, it's difficult to keep an eye on everyone. And on this occasion, it was a case of mistaken identity.
Sorry to have wasted your time, but thank you very much for letting us search. Enjoy the rest of your day, sorry.
We experience being out in the public, we learn police skills, so it's working alongside them and learning what they do.
Morning.
Today was a huge success. The Neighbourhood team engaged with spectators, the cadets learned police procedure, and as expected, the Motocross Festival kept everyone entertained.
Oh yeah, pretty good. Within third, second, possibly. Speed in the top 20.
The neighbourhood police employ all sorts of methods and tactics to tackle crime, but it's their ability to work in partnership with other organisations and hand in hand with the public that helps them achieve the best results. Until next time, evening all.
The friendly, caring Bobby pounding the beat has always been the hallmark of British policing.
Fantastic. This has been all right, my friend.
And has even been immortalised on film by the fictional Dixon of Dock Green. Today's neighbourhood police teams continue that tradition, but also tackle the root causes of crime head-on by targeting known hotspots.
Unlucky.
Stamping down on antisocial behaviour.
Arresting you for a public order offence.
And waging war on illegal drugs.
I can smell cannabis already.
In this new series of Neighbourhood Blues, we follow the police men and women of Somerset as they continue their quest to make our streets a safer place. Coming up, a stabbing rocks a seaside town.
If they've come back that way, they can get straight down and out. Yeah, it could be anywhere now.
Caught on camera, a brazen shoplifter.
At this moment in time, all right, I'm arresting you, all right, on suspicion of shoplifting.
And one of the largest cannabis farms ever found in Somerset.
I probably haven't seen a haul like this for probably 8-9 years.
After years of falling, figures for knife crime in England and Wales are worryingly on the rise again. Whilst the majority of knife incidents occur in Britain's largest cities, the recent rise in the numbers is affecting all parts of the country.
This is Weston-super-Mare, a popular seaside resort in North Somerset. A town that holidaymakers flock to take in its traditional attractions, like its beach donkeys and the world-famous Grand Pier. It's not the sort of place you would expect to have a knife problem.
We identified quite early on a rise in knife crime in Weston-super-Mare, but it was very much in relation to the drug dealing that was going on. It wasn't members of the public walking down the street and being attacked. We want to protect the public, we want to keep them safe. So if people are carrying knives, then we'll do something about it.
At Weston's main police station, an emergency report has come in of another stabbing in the town in broad daylight. A 21-year-old man has suffered a knife wound to his arm. Witnesses have given a description of two males who ran from the scene. 20 minutes later, they've been spotted across town by a police officer entering the Bourneville estate.
That's fine, mate. If you shut the road off for the time being, and then we'll work out where we're going to go from there.
Neighbourhood Sergeant Colin Batchelor is leading the hunt.
When were they last seen? Going where?
And is trying to put a ring of officers around the area so the suspected knifeman can't escape. But there's a problem.
We haven't got a containment on here, have we?
The suspects could easily have come this way and jumped over the wall at the far end of the alleyway, much to Colin's frustration.
I'm just trying to piece it all together. It's all... If they've come back that way, they can get straight down and out. Yeah, it could be anywhere now.
Before deciding whether to call his troops off, Colin follows up the story with the officer who spotted the two suspects.
Katie?
We started running, they've looked behind, and then I've chased them all the way down to here as I got to the corner.
Where exactly? Where?
Corner.
That
Here,
corner?
Coming down from Belden Crescent.
Right.
I was on that corner and I've lost them. CCTV said they've gone straight into there.
Right. From here?
Yeah, 10 seconds behind him.
This is the fourth Western stabbing in a month, so the cops are determined to catch those responsible and put an end to the violence. Whenever a knife is used, even if it's a minor incident, the police will pursue those involved ruthlessly.
Yeah, okay.
The whole estate is now under watch, from the ground and from up above.
Just waiting now, keeping containment on and just seeing whether or not anyone pops out the undergrowth, really. It's quite dense around here in terms of housing and foliage, etc. And not an easy task for us to search.
Even before today, Colin's neighbourhood team had stepped up their patrols to reassure the estate's residents that everything possible was being done to calm their fears.
This whole incident is part of an ongoing issue that we've got here on the estate, with a small minority causing misery with their dealing, with their associated violent behaviour, etc. Which, as I say, is a small part of a bigger picture, really.
It's been an hour since the two men suspected of stabbing a 21-year-old were last seen. They must either have found refuge in a house or have slipped through the police's cordon.
We're fairly happy that we can clear it as best we can. There's no signs of anyone hiding.
The helicopter's quite satisfied there's nobody actually gone to ground or hiding in this immediate vicinity. Of course, it brings out the members of the public as well. Luckily today, they're all remaining calm. But to be fair, I think over the last few weeks, with the extra reassurance patrols, with the visibility that we've been putting into the estate, they know why we're here, OK? And I think quietly, they're probably quite glad that we are here, certainly on this street, which tends to be one of the most problematic.
Colin has decided to call it a day and lift the cordon.
Chris!
But just as he does, news comes in of a sighting.
Lonsdale Avenue, both we're trying to get into a taxi. We have both males arrested.
Ooh, right, they're just over there then.
Two males matching the description of those suspected of being involved in the stabbing were spotted getting into a taxi. Before it could leave, cops, who were still in the area, boxed it in, stopping the suspects from escaping. They're both taken into custody. It was a close-run thing.
As I came down, my colleague Pete Aldridge was running towards that taxi, so I accelerated and cut the vehicle off. Quite a bold move, just trying to get in a taxi, very nonchalantly. But in the end, yeah, we got him.
The arrest was a bolt from the blue for the taxi driver.
They actually sent me down the phone number so I could get the customer direct. Because the address was wrong on the screen, it doesn't go up to 142.
No.
Literally, just got in the car and they went, "Let's go, mate, drive to town." And literally, as I engaged gear, this fella pulled in front of me. So,
Okay. Colin's got some inquiries to do at the house the men came out of. He's looking for any evidence to help link them to the earlier stabbing. But first, he's arresting an old friend.
Innocent, I didn't do it.
You always say that, don't you? Get in the back of the car. Come on. You all right? Oh yeah, all right?
Yeah.
Right as we come in? Yeah.
Frighteningly, the suspected knifeman ran into the house in desperation and demanded the startled occupant call them a getaway taxi. More officers and a dog will do a thorough search of the property and its surroundings in case the uninvited men discarded anything before they left.
We've just got the dog here at the minute, just searching to make sure that we've not missed anything, etc. They've come from being spotted by the officers just over the fence over here. They've come through the back gardens and they've come over the wall into this gentleman's property. He doesn't know them. They've burst in saying that, "Can we stay here, we're going to be stabbed, etc. What with a helicopter up, police all around, he's kind of worked out, hang on, this is not quite right. And he's asked them to leave. They've said, "Can you ring a taxi?" Police car pulls up, boxes them in, and we've arrested the pair of them.
The 21-year-old who was stabbed in the arm was treated overnight in hospital for his injuries. There was ultimately no evidence in the case against the suspected attackers, so both were released without charge. Despite the absence of any convictions, Colin believes the response from his neighbourhood team still sends out an encouraging message to the residents.
I think it's a real positive step. I think it shows us being extremely active in the area. And again, reassurance, there's not been any of the usual heckles or wind-ups, shall we say, because a lot of them are tongue-in-cheek. And I think they realise that, you know, we're here to support them and take these people out of the community.
In recent years, the quality and popularity of camera phones has increased massively. Film shot by witnesses on their smartphones is regularly featured on news programmes, and increasingly, phone footage has become invaluable as a source of evidence for the police.
In Bath's normally tranquil city centre, a report is coming in of a very nasty assault. The city's CCTV cameras have picked up the suspect making his getaway, and his description is being circulated over the radio.
He's got a dark jacket on. He's got marks on his forehead.
Yeah, noted. Sorry, can you confirm from your cameras whether 2791's in attendance now?
The PCSO's colleague is in attendance and has apprehended the suspect.
Can I have a car to Lower Borough Walls by the Lamb and Lion, please?
The man is arrested and will be taken into custody while the police investigate exactly what happened. It's often down to the PCSOs like Howie Wilton to gather evidence at the scene of a crime.
Quite a lot.
He's found a number of witnesses who saw what happened. They say it was a vicious attack by the man on a woman with a baby.
Have you all witnessed it then?
Yeah.
Right. All four of them sort of intervened, tried to stop it from happening, and one of them has rung us, and as a result we've turned up.
Speaking to the witnesses, Howie's got a breakthrough. The incident was filmed on someone's camera phone.
A gentleman from a nearby store has actually managed to capture the whole offence on his mobile phone. So that's going to be first-hand evidence, along with the statements that we've got and any possible CCTV. Excellent evidence for us to use.
Thank you. Is it the phone shop on the corner? Yeah, lovely, thanks.
The assault took place right in the middle of this busy shopping area. The store manager at this shop was alerted by the noise outside as the incident unfolded and started filming on his smartphone.
Oh, crikey, yeah, that's dreadful, isn't it?
After sickeningly launching his head at the woman, the man then aims a car baby seat at her.
We rely on members of the public because quite often they can be our first-hand witnesses. Sometimes we couldn't put jobs together without them, basically.
The attack started just up at the pub, and they argued all the way down the street, and the attack happened just outside the front of the bank here. Never seen anything like it.
Charles has not only captured vital evidence, he was also a have-a-go hero. Charles is so incensed by what he's just seen that he's not going to let the attack.
I videoed that! I'm sorry! You're on video,
no,
mate!
I'm sorry! Luckily, the woman's injuries are not as bad as they could have been.
You're right, you can come and sit in my shop if you want to.
She had a lot of blood coming from her mouth, she was shaking up, pretty scared, and the child was still crying as well.
Oi, keep hold of him!
There's no excuse for it. I don't think he'll be around here again, to be honest.
It's a particularly nasty assault. We relied on members of the public to help us out that have reacted very, very quickly. Not only have they detained him or helped to detain him, but they've also sort of managed to obtain really good first-hand evidence, which is indisputable. So when that goes before the court, I'm sure that it'll be sort of he'll be hung, drawn and quartered for it, basically.
Thanks to Charles's footage, the cowardly attacker was successfully prosecuted. He was sentenced to 16 weeks in prison, suspended for a year and a half, and fined a total of £665. Whether it's an opportunist thief or a professional, to make money out of shoplifting, an outlet is needed for the stolen goods, but bartering them into hard cash isn't as simple as it seems. The high street pawn shops and money converters are not quite the easy touch some people think they are.
Well, it's certainly not easy. The checks and tests that they would do when you try and sort of sell an item, a second-hand piece of equipment, are quite thorough. You need identification, you need to prove the ownership is yours, and you don't always get the money back straight away.
Bridgwater has a large and busy shopping centre where the neighbourhood police work in partnership with local retailers and the town's CCTV network to discourage shoplifters. This morning, Jim Murray is patrolling in the area. when he's approached by a man wearing a beanie hat who's just witnessed a theft in a shop.
That as well, he shoplifted from Wilkinson's SD cards or something.
When was this?
Fires
Just
in his
now?
pocket just now. Watch
Oh,
him
right.
do it. Wilco's know about it.
The suspect is
what's he
pointed
dressed in,
out to Jim outside a store where he's attempted to sell the items he was seen stealing from nearby Wilco's.
Hello, mate. How you doing? Is it you I need to speak to? Have you just been in CEX, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. Have you taken something in there to sell?
No, why?
Because I think they said you took something in there to sell.
Only
What?
the bingo card.
All right, mate. Just put your hands out in front of you a minute, all right, at this moment in time. All right, I'm arresting you, all right, on suspicion of shoplifting.
Moments ago, the man was caught on the shop's CCTV system, brazenly walking in and attempting to pass off a handful of computer memory cards and sticks as his to sell. Unknown to him, he was followed by the man in the beanie all the way from Wilco's, where he was seen stealing the cards and sticks. He signs for the items and takes a receipt. Importantly, no cash is given to him on the spot. This is a safeguard for the shop. They'll also make sure any items they buy are not on any stolen property checklists before handing over any money.
All right, mate, just jump in there for me. All right. Thanks, buddy.
Jim's not sure what the man may have stolen from Wilco's, but based on the vigilant shopper's evidence, he's going to be questioned at the police station.
What are you fiddling with? Hey? All right, mate, just keep your hands out in front of you where I can see them, that's all, buddy, all right?
Shoplifting is one of the most common crimes, and one which is very high on the neighbourhood police's list of priorities.
It is a problem that we have to deal with on a daily basis. It can lead on to bigger things, can't it? You might be shoplifting this time, but next time you might think you can get more money doing a burglary, or perhaps stealing someone's wallet with a robbery. All right, bud.
Jim's colleague Ian is here to sit beside the prisoner on the journey to the Nick. Bridgwater's new multi-million-pound police facility, where processing can be done in minutes.
Hello. Hi. Hello. The suspected offence of
Theft from shop and handling stolen goods.
detention's authorised so we can obtain evidence by questioning you. Also that we can secure and observe evidence, get CCTV and statements from the persons at the stores, witnesses in relation to the allegation. Do you understand?
Before being banged up, the man is being searched. Jim's found something.
Do you want to have a look at this? What is it?
It's the receipt for the memory sticks he was given at CEX. With the receipt in hand...
Thank you very much. Cheers for that.
Jim's next task is to head back to the shopping centre to gather some more evidence. And coming up later, he pieces together what actually happened before he arrested the suspect. Living next door to loud, rude and abusive neighbours is an unremitting nightmare for a great many people. And getting something done about the problem can seem like an almost impossible task.
I think the police should get involved in all neighbourly disputes because they get involved sooner, then it doesn't come down to fisticuffs and everything else that it normally ends up with.
I've been a police officer for 27 years and I've dealt with many neighbour disputes and they are wide and varied, and sometimes they're the most difficult disputes to deal with because of the very nature of people living next door to each other.
But some just can't. And that's when, as a last resort, the police get called in. They have experienced troubleshooters like Aj Secker from the neighbourhood police team to get to the bottom of disputes.
I think he thrives on them, actually. But it does take years of experience to be able to certainly to resolve them.
This morning, Aj is in Bath to see a lady who lives next door to a neighbour from hell. He's been working on her case for a while and is here to update her on his progress.
She is the victim of this antisocial behaviour, and she's quite keen to tell me in some detail about what's been happening and, more importantly, how it's affecting her life. Hi, Dad from the police. Right?
Oh, hello.
Can I come in?
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
This affects your quality of life, doesn't it?
Well, no, well, of course it does. I am actually sick to the back teeth.
The lady has a 9-year-old daughter, and they've both suffered from excessive noise and other abuse from their next-door neighbour, day and night, for years.
I think it must have been about 5 or 6 in the morning, and she was jumping and banging and running up and down. I said, I think it's unacceptable that you're playing music this time. She goes, oh, come on then, bring it on. Because just got somebody who's quite vindictive and spiteful and quite awful, really. And actually, that is what I've had to be living with since I don't know when.
I saw your neighbour earlier on today, actually.
Right, okay.
She had an appointment with another agency.
It was here at the local probation services office where Aj met the nightmare neighbour to issue her with a formal written warning about her behaviour. But she doesn't think she's done anything wrong.
She is in total denial of everything, frankly. So all the allegations that have been made to her are made about her by a number of different sources, not just one individual. She totally denies them.
The warning was part of a brand new community protection notice, a piece of legislation brought in to help safeguard people's quality of life.
Now, this is where you come into this process, and it's really, really important, okay? Because you live here.
Yeah.
I don't. If she starts playing your music at stupid o'clock in the morning, or whatever it may well be, and it's unacceptable, I want you to ring us.
Right, okay.
By doing that, then we should hopefully evidence that she would breach the conditions that she's under, that she signed. We can then potentially go to the next stage, which is then issue her with a community protection notice.
Right, okay.
All right, so what's happened today, she's had this warning. The next one is the actual notice itself. We'll have exactly the same conditions. If she breaches those again, then that becomes a criminal matter.
Fine, because I just think to myself, something needs to be done. All right then, well, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Take care.
She's fed up to the eyeballs of the selfish, unwarranted, unnecessary and unacceptable behaviour of an individual that is seriously affecting her quality of life. And why on earth should she put up with it? So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that her and her daughter's life, and everybody else for this matter in this street here, is made a little bit more bearable by challenging the behaviour that has caused all of this trouble.
A day later, and the beleaguered woman has already been in touch with Aj again. Her neighbour has been out in the garden shouting and swearing, in violation of the warning she received. Now Aj is going to serve her with the official community protection notice. If she breaks the terms of this, she will be committing a criminal offence and will be arrested.
I wasn't expecting, less than 24 hours later, to be now going to her house again to issue her with a community protection notice, which is the next stage up. It's disappointing, but I have to confess, not particularly surprising. The difference between this one and the one that I served on her yesterday was this had community protection notice warning. So it does what it says on the tin, you know. So she breached that. She heard that? It's PC Saka. Could you just open the door for me? Sworn I heard something in there then. So bloody frustrating, has to say.
Aj is convinced that the woman is inside, but unable to get her to show her face, he goes next door.
Hello. Hello. Is she in?
I can hear the banging.
That's me knocking on the door.
Oh no, this was other banging that I can hear, which is coming from that side. But she is in there.
Well, I'll keep banging on the door then.
Yeah,
Right.
she was, because when I came in earlier, I could hear her in there, and I was just.
All right, I've got to do that statement from you anyway, okay?
Yeah, no.
So 2 things, shut the door. Second thing, get the kettle on, I'll be round shortly. All right. Right, I just need to speak to you, please. But by ignoring me and not answering the doors, making yourself look a bit silly. So come and open the door, I know you're in there. Okay,
There's still no answer, so it's time to take a statement and get a cup of tea instead.
I'm absolutely convinced that when I was taking a statement from her, I could hear some banging and noise coming from there. So I'm sure that she's in there.
It's a lost cause, so Adge serves the paperwork through the letterbox instead.
It's a community protection notice, and that is for you to stop your behaviour. If you breach any of the conditions on here, and it's very, very plain, similar to our meeting yesterday, you commit a criminal offence, you will be arrested. You've been warned, my love.
Later, Adge finally catches up with the elusive nightmare neighbour.
Stay away from me.
CCTV systems have come a long way since they first became common in the 1980s. Back then, the cameras with their grainy black and white pictures were mostly used as a deterrent. Nowadays, with high definition, they're a vital tool in identifying criminals. Earlier in Bridgwater, thanks to a member of the public alerting the police about someone trying to sell stolen items in
what's he dressed in, mate?
a suspected shoplifter was arrested and taken to the police station for questioning. Jim Murray now needs some hard evidence to back up the witness's story and strengthen his case.
We could have got him coming out of the shopping centre, and within a couple of minutes he could have hidden them somewhere and we'd never have found them. So, yeah, they're invaluable, aren't they, for assisting us with jobs like this.
Wilko's is a large nationwide chain store, and it has its own security department. There are many different types of people who shoplift, but they often share some basic characteristics.
Just people not behaving normally, so not coming in, doing your shopping, leaving, coming in, wandering around, and not really having a focus.
Jim's now able to see for the first time what happened. The thief has chosen some small but high-value items to steal. Some 32GB memory sticks. But he's discovered that they are all fitted with security tags, which will set off the store's alarm if taken out of the exit and require special tools to remove. Unaware of the CCTV cameras, he's not going to be beaten. And, undeterred even by some other shoppers, he goes off to find something to cut the security tags off with. He looks for the tool department, and there decides on an expensive set of pliers for the job. Still totally oblivious of the cameras pointing at him, he gets out his newly acquired pliers and proceeds to cut the memory stick's tags off. Hiding the discarded tags and unwanted packaging as he goes, while pocketing the valuable sticks. He's then picked up calmly walking out of the front doors. 10 minutes later, after a short walk across town, he saunters into CEX and tries to offload his pickings. This is the aisle the goods were taken from.
As you can see, these are all tagged. Yeah. These are the ones I believe he's had. Right. 32 gig tags. Yeah. So he's come here, he's realised that he can't get the product easily. So he's then scouted around the shop, he's gone to DIY, got diagonal.
You even use your tools to untag them,
The pliers and the discarded tags have all been recovered.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. 7 tags and 1 soft tag.
The neighbourhood police are continually grateful for any help they get from the public. Here, it was this alert shopper that first noticed the thief. What he did next was extraordinary. Having seen the man take the memory sticks, he followed him across town to CEX and warned the staff there about what he'd seen, before running into Jim outside.
Yeah, today the individual has stolen in excess of £100 worth of stock, and yeah, damaging, very damaging. It's theft. It's taking away our employers' opportunities to offer work to young people to old people, to everyone. It is a scourge of modern day society. People think it has no consequences. It does. If they don't get the product, they'll destroy it trying to. It is all money thrown in the wind.
So we'll take those back to the station, we'll get them booked in along with the statement, and then we can hopefully put it all together and interview the suspect, see what he's got to say about the matter. Thanks very much, Andrew.
No worries, thank you.
All right, I'll see you again.
Really appreciate your
Take
help.
care.
Thank you, sir. Cheers.
The shoplifter was found guilty in court of the theft of the USB sticks and memory cards from Wilko's and fined a total of £293. Earlier, we saw neighbour dispute specialist Ad Secker serve a new community protection notice to a woman in Bath.
You be more, my love.
The woman has persistently been causing a nuisance to her neighbour and had already been formally warned, which she ignored. Failure to comply with the notice, this time, is an offence. It's been a week since he posted the paperwork through her letterbox. Today, Adge has returned to make sure
Same
she
company as
received
Jess's
it
husband. What's that?
and to get her signature to say she has read and understands the conditions in it.
I'm going to go around the back first of all, see if she's there, try and surprise her, I suppose. Cool.
I don't know what are you doing. Stay away from me. We've got a film for it.
All right, OK. Come here, I just need to sign this.
At last, Adge has found the woman, but she's still being evasive, as well as a bit camera shy.
I am the police, you silly thing. Come here a minute. Just sign this for me and I'll be gone. That's interesting. That was I think you saw her reaction there, the type of person that I'm dealing with. She's just refused to sign this form. That's fine. She doesn't have to sign it at all. So I'm going to put on here refused to sign. Apparently she's going to make a phone call to the police saying a policeman was following her. Must be a Monday.
2 days later, a Wednesday, and Adge has discovered that the woman has breached the conditions of her community protection notice. She has verbally attacked her neighbour with a tirade of foul-mouthed abuse.
We've given her a chance. In fact, we've given a couple of chances. And she's completely and utterly stuck two fingers up at the system. Don't care about that. Don't care about my neighbour. Well, tough. She's going to have to care about it because she's now going to come and see where I work for a living.
Now she'll be arrested. Adge calls the victim to let her know.
Hi, it's Adge from the police station.
Oh, hi, Adge.
I've seen the statement. I'm absolutely disgusted with that kind of behaviour and more importantly, language. So, is going to be arrested.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Adge.
Bye. Bye. Having a real negative impact on the quality of her life, but also that of her 9-year-old daughter as well. It's just not fair. So for me to be able to take some real positive action and maybe change that situation for this lady, that's a great thing to be able to achieve.
Adge can only hope the woman is at home when he goes round there this time.
Didn't notice.
No, I have not.
Possessed you to revenge.
He's had a lucky break.
I'm on tag. They can't
She's
touch me.
walking on the pavement.
No, she can't. I've done nothing wrong. I phoned them up and that's...
Listen a minute.
He keeps coming around my house when I'm in the shower.
Right.
Right, so you're arrested for breaching the community. I haven't done it.
Do I sort it all out in custody?
You are all liars. Get that man away from me.
We've got to come in the car with
Get away from me. No way. You are all liars.
I don't think she likes me very much. There you are. Anyway, good news. Excellent. That is a great result.
At last, Adge can deliver some good news to the victim.
So, what's happening is...
Because the woman has breached the community protection notice and is still denying the accusations, her case will now be heard in court.
You are undoubtedly going to be called as a witness.
Well, of course, but then at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with that because I'm more than happy to stand up in court and say, actually, this is what I heard her saying.
Well, hopefully then, the actions that we've taken then with this new, using this new legislation and everything else and getting it before a court, as you say, that may be the catalyst you know, the beginning of the end, maybe.
Thank you, take care. Bye.
When she appeared in court, the nightmare neighbour was taken ill. In her absence, she was found guilty of breaching her community protection notice by using abusive, intimidating and racial language. She received a criminal record and the Housing Association evicted her. Adge's persistence in this case shows that when people with nightmare neighbours reach the end of their tether, something can be done. Cannabis farming is big business for criminals and a big problem for the police. The neighbourhood teams rely on local intelligence and tip-offs to find the farms set up in people's houses. But increasingly, new technology is being used. Thermal imaging cameras in helicopters and special heat guns can see the intense heat radiated by the lamps used to grow the plants. The obvious answer for the growers is to find somewhere outdoors to cultivate their crop. But there's still a major problem for them to overcome: the smell. Near Bridgwater, the hot weather has triggered an odd aroma, which the neighbourhood team have been alerted to. And it's not newly mown fields. 2 people have called the smell in, but were only able to give a rough location. However, PCSO Dan Weller, using his nose, has discovered the source of the pond.
Crossed over and then walked down through and followed the sort of embankment side, if you like, which is where we found it all hidden away.
What Dan has sniffed out with his colleague, Tex Freeman, is a huge crop of thriving cannabis plants, neatly hidden between a farmer's field and the A39.
Due to the location, there's no public footpaths or anything like that directly onto a road. I think the sort of thought process was not going to be noticed by members of the public, and also the smell with passing vehicles maybe won't travel, but clearly it did.
The plot has been expertly fashioned and disguised.
We think this is just a wasteland which they've sectioned off the bottom, covered it over, as you see, with the dead branches to stop it being seen from the road.
A crop this size has got a potential street value of many thousands of pounds.
I probably haven't seen a haul like this for probably 8-9 years.
With a huge haul of marijuana to harvest, Dan and Tex call up their neighbourhood colleagues in Bridgwater to come and help.
Lovely, yeah. All the equipment that we need to trim them and bag them up.
The plan is now we need to get 3 plants out with the roots in and some soil, put that in one bag as the sample bag for testing, and then we need to basically pull all the others out, cut off the roots, and then bag those up. Yeah, if we take these ones, 3 of the bigger ones.
The plants will be tested to determine
that'd be good, Chris.
Records of seized crops have been kept for the last 20 years, during which time large increases in yield and potency have been noticed. The rest of the bumper crop will be destroyed by removing the roots before later being incinerated.
Yeah, I love gardening. I don't think I'm Alan Titchmarsh by any means. They certainly know how to grow the plants.
It's clear this is an extremely professional job. Whoever was responsible even installed a nutrient-rich irrigation system.
They've added all the fertiliser to the water to obviously give the plants a helping hand, so that when they water them, already treated with this and try and speed up the growing process. The latest member of the public phoned up and narrowed it down, the search, so we were able to find it. So, you know, again, our eyes and ears a lot of time of the public, and it just shows what can be achieved when people do take the time to phone these things in.
Yeah, I like a bit of gardening, but this is taking it to another level, isn't it, really? I shall smell wonderful by the time the haul has been bagged up. Yeah, it's not a very nice smell, really, but off the streets, that's the main thing.
The crop's been discovered just in time. Another 3 weeks and the plants would have been fully mature and ready to be sold on the streets. Unfortunately, catching those responsible is very unlikely.
It's difficult to locate who's done this. Inquiries will be made, as always, to see if we can follow up. We've seized it, so Either way, we've stopped it in its process and stopping it from going on the streets. So it's a good result. Whew. I'd love to see the face of the person when they come back.
Oh, yeah, the affection.
Oh, you imagine how good that'd be when they come round here thinking, oh, I'll see how my cannabis is doing, maybe give it a bit of water. Oh, unlucky.
Altogether, the team have gathered up more than 200 cannabis plants.
203. Get in. It'd be interesting. I just can't wait for them to do their stuff and find out what the value of it is.
Tex just has time to call the person who originally phoned in with the information.
Just to give you an update, that we've been out on foot, myself and a colleague, and we've managed to find there was a stash growing on wasteland which had all been properly prepared and grown, fenced off, and we've recovered 203 plants. So just wanted to thank you for your call, sir.
When the plants were tested at the labs for potential yield, it was estimated the haul would have had a street value of up to £85,000. Those behind the operation were never found. Having the public's trust and confidence is a key element of neighbourhood policing. And a great way to forge a positive relationship is to go into local schools to teach children at an early age all about crime and good citizenship.
We're very closely linked to the police, and they talk and tackle the issues that are quite current at the moment, and things around the community, whether it's vandalism or things that have happened, and also with everything there's an action and a consequence as well, because that is life. So we're here in it all together to try and make sure these kids go and succeed.
PCSO Kim Tanner from the Bath Neighbourhood Policing Team is here at a junior school in Twerton to give a talk about the law to Year 6 pupils.
It's a really important time in their year. Obviously, they're 10 going on 11 and going off to secondary school. Hopefully, they're not going to get in trouble with the police, but if they do, how they'll be dealt with. And the children talk to us about what they think is right and wrong. Come on in and sit down. Oh, you sat right in front of me, aren't I lucky?
Class 6RM
Right,
are
table
also
at the back,
known
number
as the
3.
Dolphins.
Good afternoon, Dolphins.
Good afternoon, PCSO Tanner.
And what we're going to talk about is something called crime and consequences. It's anything to do with crime, OK, and how that can affect the person that's committed that crime.
Kim's got some question and answer books designed to test the children on their knowledge of the most common laws and regulations. It's about understanding the rules our society runs by that we all have to abide by.
How old must you be to buy alcohol legally from a licence or a pub? 18.
18. Do you think it's 18? Yep. Do you know what we can do if we find young people with alcohol? Sometimes we'll take them home to their parents, and we will also take that young person's details, and that goes on to our system, but it tells us that that young person is out and about in a public place drinking alcohol when they shouldn't be.
Understanding the difference between right and wrong is vital for all children, and lessons like these are invaluable.
It's about the bigger picture with young people, is how it can affect their families, how it can affect their friendships with people, and you know, how word spreads if somebody's involved in criminal acts, how it's going to affect them in the future. You've all been brilliant today, OK? And enjoy going off to your secondary schools in September. And if you see me out and about, or Lou out and about in the summer, say hello and wave, OK? And come and have a chat with us.
I knew quite a bit, not all of it though. They told me about some things that I didn't know. It helps you in life, so you know what not to do and what to do. I'd think twice before doing anything naughty or out of shape. You've never been in trouble, have you? Not much.
We've seen in today's programme how important it is for the police to have the confidence of the public they serve. Without it, neighbourhood policing would quickly lose its effectiveness. Until next time, evening all.